The message from my mother arrived while I was standing in the airport security line. 3 words burned through the screen. Transfer it to him. Then another message. Or don't bother coming home. I stared at it for a long moment while the line shuffled forward. My brother had already taken the house, the car, most of Dad's business contacts. And now they wanted the inheritance too. Because apparently he had a family. I didn't reply. Instead, I opened my banking app and started locking every door they thought they could walk through. By the time my flight boarded, my phone had already rung 11 times. It hadn't always been like this. When we were kids, my brother Marcus was my hero. 3 years older, taller, louder, the kind of guy who walked into a room and everyone noticed. He taught me how to ride a bike, how to throw a baseball, how to lie to Mom when we broke something in the garage. We were a team back then. At least that's what I believed. But Marcus changed when Dad's business started making real money. He stopped being a brother. He became an heir, and I became background noise. Still, when Dad died 6 months ago, I didn't expect what happened next. The lawyer called us both into his office. Marcus leaned back in his chair like he already owned the building. Then the lawyer read the will. Dad had split everything evenly, 50-50. Marcus didn't react in the office. But in the parking lot, he turned to me with a tight smile. "You're not actually keeping your half, right?" I thought he was joking. "I have 2 kids," he said. "A mortgage. Real responsibilities." I shrugged. "So do most adults." His smile vanished. "You don't need it." That was the first crack. The pressure started quietly. Mom calling more often. Marcus dropping comments at family dinners. "You're single. You don't have expenses. Family should support family." At first I ignored it. Then the tone changed. Marcus stopped asking. He started assuming. He began talking about his plans for the money, renovating his house, private school for his kids, expanding Dad's old company, all funded by my inheritance. The final straw came 3 days ago. Dinner at Mom's house. Marcus leaned across the table. "You owe me that money." The room went silent. "Owe you?" I asked. "Yeah," he said calmly. "Because I actually have a family to support." Mom nodded. Actually nodded. "That's true," she said softly. Something cold settled in my chest. Not anger. Clarity. That night I booked a flight. One way, not because I was running, because distance makes strategy easier. While my plane taxied down the runway, Marcus was still texting. "We should talk about the transfer." "Don't make this messy." I muted the conversation. Then I called the only person who actually understood how Dad structured his finances. Our lawyer. By the time we landed, phase 1 was already in motion. Dad's business shares transferred into a holding structure that required both heirs, approval for liquidation. The investment accounts moved into a trust with strict withdrawal rules. And the house Marcus planned to use as collateral for his expansion? Technically still co-owned, which meant no loans without my signature. Marcus had assumed I'd just hand everything over. He never imagined I'd secure the board. That night, the calls started. 20, 30, 43 missed calls. Then the voicemail from Dad. Or rather, the man who used to act like one. His voice was shaking with rage. "You selfish little... You're tearing this family apart. You give your brother that money right now." I listened to the whole thing once, then archived it. Evidence is useful. The confrontation happened 2 days later. Marcus showed up at the lawyer's office unannounced. Red-faced, breathing hard. "You locked the accounts," he said. I didn't look up from the folder in front of me. "Yes." "You had no right." I slid the document across the desk. "Actually, I had every right." Dad's will was clear. Half meant half. Marcus scanned the pages. His expression shifted from anger to something else. Fear. "You can't freeze the company like this," he said. I didn't freeze it. I finally looked at him. I protected it. Marcus leaned closer. "You're going to ruin everything." I shook my head slowly. "No. I'm just refusing to fund your version of everything." The lawyer cleared his throat. "Also," he added carefully, "any future decisions about the company require joint agreement." Marcus turned toward him like a storm about to break. "You're on his side?" The lawyer didn't blink. "I'm on the side of the will." Marcus tried one last move. He softened his voice. "You're really doing this?" I held his gaze. "Yes." "For Dad?" I almost laughed. Dad had divided the inheritance evenly for a reason. He knew Marcus, and he knew me. You said I didn't have a family, I told him. Marcus nodded impatiently. You don't. I stood up. Exactly. Which means I don't have to tolerate one that treats me like a wallet. When I left the office, my phone buzzed again. Another message from Mom. You're destroying this family. I read it, then locked my phone. Because the truth was simpler than that. Families don't demand obedience. They don't threaten exile. And they definitely don't rewrite someone's inheritance out of convenience. Marcus wanted my half. But what he got instead was a partner he couldn't control, a company he couldn't exploit, and a brother who finally understood the rules of the game. For the first time in my life, Marcus couldn't take something from me. And judging by the silence that followed, he knew it too.